There we go. Good morning, everyone. This is the Planning and Economic Development Committee meeting of April the 4th. I'm Councillor David Pickles. I'm the Vice Chair. I'll be chairing today. Chair Chapman has an appointment that he couldn't miss this morning. He may be able to join us later, but I would be surprised if he did. Madam Clerk, can you take the roll call?
It is virtual and it's started.
And we have quorum.
You need to vote as well.
Oh.
I'm right here and I did press yes.
We'll note that.
Okay, I'd just like to recognize that we do have Councillor Neal and Councillor Collier on virtually. And we have visiting Councillor Wu. Are there any declarations of interest? Oh, Councillor Ash has signed on as well just a moment ago. So welcome all. Do we have any declarations of interest? Being none, Madam Clerk, can I have a motion for the adoption of the minutes from the March 7th, 2023 committee meeting? Moved by Councillor Shahid, seconded by Councillor Wooten. The name tag threw me off when it says Collier on it. So, any errors or omissions? I see that we have Councillor Neal. You wish to speak to this?
Just going to second it.
Okay, we have a seconder. Thank you. I will try to watch the virtual attendees as well, but thank you. Chair Henry?
Sorry, just from a procedural point of view, we're taking votes and we're not seeing people on the screen. It's a challenge at council and in committee. Members of council, when they vote, they need to have their cameras on.
Can members of committee who are joining us virtually please keep their cameras on, put their cameras on and keep them on? Thank you. We have a number of statutory public information. Oh, sorry. On the minutes, those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. So we have a number of statutory public meetings. I'll begin with the first one. I have a few notes to remark. Public meeting report number 2023 P7, page 24 of the agenda. That this portion of the meeting constitutes the statutory public information meeting under the Planning Act for the proposed amendments to the Durham Regional Official Plan submitted by Wooden Sticks Golf Inc. to permit a 5-story hotel and expanded parking area ancillary to the existing golf course in the township of Uxbridge. Notice of the public meeting was advertised in the Uxbridge Times Journal newspaper, and a notice was mailed to landowners and residents within 120 meters of the subject property. It is important that those who may have an interest in this matter to make a submission prior to regional council making a decision. As a reminder, any person may make written submissions at any time before regional council makes a decision. Anyone wishing to be notified of future meetings of the Planning and Economic Development Committee at which the proposed amendment will be considered, or to be notified of the regional council's decision on the subject amendment, must submit a written request to the Commissioner of Planning and Economic Development. So at this time, we'll have a staff presentation from David Perkins. And please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning, members of committee and ladies and gentlemen. GHD Inc., on behalf of Wooden Sticks Golf Inc., submitted an application to amend the regional official plan to permit an expansion of the existing Wooden Sticks golf course to include a 5-story hotel with 79 guest rooms in the township of Uxbridge. Next slide, please. If I can draw your attention to attachment 1, the subject site, outlined in yellow, is located on the south side of Elgin Park Drive, west of Concession 7, east of Toronto Street South, and is immediately south of the Uxbridge urban area. The civic address of the site is 40 Elgin Park Drive. The subject site is approximately 81 hectares in size, or 200 acres, and includes an 18-hole golf course and 6 guest cabins for overnight accommodation. A clubhouse building with a restaurant is located in the northwest section of the site. In terms of surrounding uses, single detached and street townhouse dwellings, wooded areas, and various sizes of public and private roads surround the site. The proposed amendment would also facilitate approval of an expanded parking area. In support of the application, the applicant has submitted a broad variety of studies, including a planning rationale report, an environmental impact study, a functional servicing and stormwater management report, a geotechnical investigation, and a variety of other reports. Next slide, please. If you turn your attention to attachment 2, you will see the subject property and the details of the proposed use, including the existing building. The proposed hotel, outlined in blue, is proposed to be connected to the western part of the existing clubhouse building. The proposed parking area will be located east of the clubhouse. The applicant is proposing to use the existing driveway from Elgin Park Drive to access the proposed hotel. As part of our review of this application, we will be assessing the proposal for conformity with the applicable policies of the Regional Official Plan, the Oak Ridges Moraine Conservation Plan, and consistency with the provincial policy statement. In terms of consultation, this department has circulated the application to various agencies. To date, we have received comments from Canada Post, Enbridge Gas, and the Lake Simcoe Region Conservation Authority. None of these commenting agencies have expressed any concerns with the application. Lastly, to engage the public, a public notification of this meeting has been advertised in the local newspaper. The notice was posted on the region's website and mailed to property owners within 120 meters of the subject site. As of today, we have received 15 public submissions, including 12 inquiries with some concerns and/or requests for more information, 2 statements of support, and 1 statement of opposition regarding the proposed amendment. Some of the issues raised by residents include the proposed location and the height of the hotel, the extent of tree removal, the potential increase in noise, and the potential loss of privacy. Next slide, please. And finally, Mr. Vice Chair, to conclude, I can advise that this department will present a recommendation report to committee and ultimately to council once we have completed our public consultation process and analysis of the application. This concludes my presentation, Mr. Vice Chair.
Thank you for the presentation. I'm going to ask if there's any questions or comments or questions from committee, and we have Councillor Kerr.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Sorry for my tardy arrival. Lots of municipal business this morning. Thank you for your presentation. I'm glad I got here just in time. I have a couple of questions for you. In terms of the perceived need for the additional parking, is that due to what you consider to be vehicular traffic extraneous to golf who want to stay at the hotel and therefore you need more parking? Or do you not have enough parking currently for your golf patrons?
Through you, Mr. Chair, the idea of the application is to create a destination. I spoke to the owner when I made a site visit, and I remember him saying or talking about destination golf and how the township of Uxbridge does not have a overnight accommodation. I mean, they have overnight cabins, but they're very limited. So the emphasis of this is the hotel to work with the existing golf facility. So yes, they do require that expanded parking area, to my knowledge. Thank you.
And through you, Mr. Chair, my second question relates to the perceived privacy issue that you mentioned that some people had a concern. When you look at that diagram, that I don't know whether we can bring that back up on the screen, but the schematic you showed of the proposed location of the hotel and the parking, there it is. Could you identify for me and members of committee where there are current residential developments in and around this area?
There is a townhouse development to the west of the existing golf course.
Would that
It's
be
not-
beyond that curved line? Or further
Yes.
west than that?
Yes, just beyond that curved line, yes, sir.
Okay.
And there is a wooded area that provides a natural buffer between the golf course facility currently. And there's also a private road between the backyards of the eastern townhouses, and it's a service road for the condominium development. So there's that as well.
Okay. And I may have missed this, but would you kindly remind me or to advise me how many floors high do you propose this hotel to be?
They are proposing 5 stories. This is for the zoning bylaw to give them the flexibility to work through the business case. Whether it's 4 or 5 stories will be determined at the zoning bylaw application stage.
And is that where the privacy issue comes in? The fact that somebody on the 5th floor might look over those trees and so forth. Okay. And there's no residential to the east of the new proposed parking lot. I gather that would be golf course area, would it?
Yes, it would, sir. Thank you.
Okay. And on the north side of the road is what? I'm not familiar with the area.
On the north side of Elgin Park Drive, there is also a residential area. However, there is a large berm in between the proposed parking area and Elgin Park Drive.
Okay. Well, the city consolation to you, I've spoken to the councillors from the area, and they seem to be quite positive about this development. So thank you very much for your presentation today.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any other questions from the committee for the delegation? We have Mayor Collier.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair. Just, I want to understand, there's a few items of correspondence on the agenda today, residents in that associated townhouse. I just wonder which came first. Is this a fairly new development? Because I know the golf course has been there for some time.
Through you, Mr. Vice Chair, I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? It was very blotchy.
Oh, okay. What year was the golf course built?
Mayor Collier, I think we've lost you. Mayor Collier? Let's
I am
try.
here.
Let's try again.
I am here. Can you hear me now?
Go ahead. We'll try to hear you.
I'm just trying to understand which was there first, the golf course or the residential development?
So I think the mayor's question was, what was there first, the existing residential or the existing golf course, if I have Mayor Collier's question correct?
Correct.
Through you, Mr. Vice Chair, the existing golf course was definitely existed before the subdivision to the west, which is closer to the proposed hotel. Regarding the subdivision to the north, on the north side of Elgin Park Drive, I do not have that information at my fingertips at this time, but I could certainly get that information for you.
Okay, I just was trying to understand. It doesn't make sense for me to somebody be complaining about their view and that type of thing when the course was when their house was built. Thank you for the answer to my question.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. Are there any other members of the committee that have any questions for the delegation at this time? If not, thank you. We do have a registered delegation or delegations. Scott Waterhouse, Planning Manager, GHD on behalf of Wooden Sticks Golf Inc. and Greg Seaman, Managing Partner of Wooden Sticks Golf Club. So you're welcome to make your presentation. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Chair Pickles, members of committee and staff. My name is Scott Waterhouse with GHD. As mentioned, I'm the planning consultant for Wooden Sticks Golf Inc., the applicant for the regional application subject to this morning's public meeting. Chair Pickles, I'll keep my presentation very brief because the regional staff did a good overview of the proposal. But as you mentioned, Mr. Greg Seaman, managing partner at Wooden Sticks, is also available and is delegated to answer any questions the committee may have pertaining to the golf course. Next slide, please. Just to maybe add, Chair Pickles, to the earlier context questions, this slide just provides a bit of a overview of the area subject to the proposal, the proposed development. So as you can see there, the existing golf clubhouse and restaurant is highlighted, along with the existing parking area and entrance from Elgin Park Drive. And to the questions before about the nearest residential, you can see on the left-hand part of the slide where we've labeled residential. Those are townhouses on Howard Williams Court, constructed in the past 2 or 3 years, if my memory is correct. Next slide, please. And Chair Pickles, this slide just provides a few images of the golf course itself, specifically the top image of the existing clubhouse building and restaurant, along with the bottom images of the golf course itself. Next slide, please. I might skip this slide. It just provides the regional official plan mapping highlighting the property is in the Oak Ridges Moraine. But just to note that the existing golf course is considered a major recreational use within the Oak Ridges Moraine and the Durham Region official plan. And to expand a major recreational use, such as a new hotel building, requires an amendment to the regional official plan, hence why the application before you. Next slide, please. Yes, this is there we go. This is the slide I think maybe provides some additional clarity about the proposed development. So as you can see, we've highlighted the existing parking area. That's not changing. And also as mentioned before, the new parking area to the east of the existing site entrance area. But more specifically, the existing clubhouse building is highlighted on the image. That will be retained, along with the new proposed 5-story hotel building connected to the clubhouse building there. And as mentioned, I think this gives a good visual as well of the separation between the proposed hotel building and the nearest residential dwellings on Howard Williams Court. But as you can see, also highlights that existing vegetation area that regional staff pointed out that for the most part is planned to be kept. Some vegetation will need to be removed, but it will be as minimal as possible, and the intention is to keep as much of that existing vegetation as possible. Chair Pickles, that concludes my presentation, but certainly happy to answer any questions from committee.
Okay, thank you for your presentation. Do we have any questions from members of the committee or visiting councillors and mayors? Being none, thank you for your presentation.
Thank you.
I would ask, is there anyone in attendance? This is a statutory public information meeting. Anyone in attendance that would like to make a submission at this time? I'm not seeing anyone. One more call. Anybody who would like to make a presentation on this item, if they could come forward now. Again, I don't see anyone. So members of the committee, I would note there are some noted pieces of correspondence attached to this report, or at least as part of the statutory public information meeting. And I need a motion to receive the report. Councillors Shaheed and Watton moved and seconded. Any further comments or questions before I call the vote? All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. So this concludes the public information item on meeting on this item. The next item is the public meeting report number 2023 P8, page 46 of the agenda. That this portion of the meeting constitutes the statutory public information meeting under the Planning Act for the proposed amendment to the Durham Regional Official Plan submitted by Clark Consulting Services on behalf of Bethsaida I know I'm pronouncing that wrong, Ridge Farms to permit the severance of a farm dwelling rendered surplus as a result of the consolidation of a non-abutting farm properties in the municipality of Clarington. Notice of the public meeting was advertised in the Clarington This Week newspaper, and the notice was mailed to landowners and residents within 120 meters of the subject property. It is important that those who may have an interest in this matter make a submission prior to Regional Council making a decision. As a reminder, any person may make written submissions at any time before Regional Council makes a decision. Anyone wishing to be notified of future meetings of the Planning and Economic Development Committee at which the proposed amendment will be considered, or to be notified of the Regional Council's decision on the subject amendment, must submit a written request to the Commissioner of Planning and Economic Development. So we do have a staff presentation on this, and if the presenter would like to come forward and provide that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Good morning, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. Clark Consulting Services, on behalf of Bethesda Ridge Farms, has submitted an application to amend the Durham Regional Official Plan to permit the severance of a farm dwelling rendered surplus as a result of consolidation of non-abutting farms. If I can point your attention to the map 1, this is a location of the farm property. It's in the municipality of Clarington. The farm is approximately 54 hectares or 133 acres, and it's located at the northeast corner of Concession Road 6 and Clemens Road, south of the hamlet of Tyrone and north of Highway 407. The existing uses on the farm includes the residential dwelling located at the southern portion of the property. Mackey Creek flows in the middle of the farm, and the farm is used to cultivate grains and hay for cash crops and livestock feed. The farm is surrounded by rural residences and agricultural lands. The proposed severed lot shown in the hatching is going to be 1 hectare or 2 acres, and the retained farm parcel will be approximately 53 hectares or 131 acres. The applicant has submitted a number of reports to support the amendment. They include a planning rationale report prepared by Clark Consulting Services and a Phase 1 environmental site assessment prepared by GHD Limited. If I could draw your attention to map number 2. Next slide, please. This map illustrates the applicant's total land holdings. They own a total of 3 farm properties in Clarington. The home farm is located on the east side of Bethesda Road. From a policy context, we will be reviewing the application for conformity with the Regional Official Plan, the Greenbelt Plan, and the Provincial Policy Statement, all which permits the severance of a dwelling rendered surplus as a result of consolidation of non-abutting farms, subject to meeting planning criteria as outlined in our staff report. The proposed application has been circulated to a number of agencies for commenting. The agencies that we had circulated to include the Municipality of Clarington, the Central Lake Ontario Conservation Authority, the Regional Health Department, the Regional Works Department, and Durham Agriculture Advisory Committee. In terms of public consultation, a notice of this public meeting has been advertised in the local newspaper with Clarington This Week. And we have also mailed notice of this public meeting to property owners who are within 120 meters of the farm. And to date, we have not received any comments from any persons regarding the application. Finally, to conclude this presentation, Mr. Vice Chair, and moving forward, a recommendation report will be brought to Planning and Economic Development Committee once the agency's comments are received and we have completed our review of the application. Thank you. This concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Vanita. Any comments or questions from members of the committee? I see Councillor Kerr.
Must be my morning for questions. Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair, thanks for your presentation. Generally, I'm in favor of supporting our agricultural economy in these matters. I only have one question. Could you kind of reiterate the number of acres associated with the piece that's to be severed, please?
The total farm property is 54 hectares, and they're proposing to sever approximately 1 hectare. So the perimeter of the rural.
So it's only about 2.4 acres? I'm
Correct.
still an acre guy. Hectares to
Yeah,
me.
so 1 hectare is about approximately 2 acres, a little bit
Okay.
over 2 acres. They're proposing
For
to
some
do.
reason, I thought I thought it was 20 acres, and I would have wondered why it was that much. But this is pretty
Yeah,
standard
so
for.
1 hectare is you've converted to acres is 2
Thank you.
acres.
That's my only question. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. Any further questions from members of committee or visiting members of council? We have Councillor Wu.
Yes, good morning. And I'm very familiar with this particular piece of property. And as Councillor Kerr had mentioned, usually when you're severing off at a farm building, which is surplus, it's usually about 1 acre or 2 acre or 1 hectare or 2 acres that go along with the building. Is that correct? Through the chair to the presenter.
Generally, we'd like to keep the proposed severed lot just to a size that would meet the functioning of the residential lot. So that would include this private servicing and the residents. So minimal size as small as possible, which is approximately about 1 hectare or 2 acres.
1 hectare, right? And this is pretty normal when someone buys a farm property, that if the farm building is surplus, that it is severed. And in this case, the Bethesda Ridge Farm, they have the abutting property, as you mentioned, on Bethesda Road. So it is pretty well adjoining. Is that correct?
The reason why it appeared here in council, because it is a non-abutting, because it is by virtue non-abutting farm, because of Bethesda Road, it's divided.
Yes.
So that's why an amendment to the regional official plan was required.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with both property owners, and you're right. Bethesda Road is what separates the two properties. That's correct.
That's correct.
Okay. No, thank you very much. That's all my questions. And again, as you mentioned, there have been no, I guess, comments from the public notices that have gone out to the adjoining, what is it, 120?
120 meters is the requirement to be notified. Correct.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. I'm not seeing any further questions from committee or visiting councillors. We do have a registered delegation. We have Hugh Stewart on behalf of Clark Consulting Services. So, Mr. Stewart, if you'd like to come forward.
Hugh Stewart from Clark Consulting Services. We're the agent in this application, and I'm very pleased with the presentation given by Ms. Chantavon, and I wish to be available to help with any questions if there are. I have nothing further to add to the presentation. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Oh, thank you. That was a brief presentation. Any questions from members of committee or other councillors that we have joining us today? So it looks like you got off easy. Thank you. Again, given that this is you're free to sit down. Given that this is a statutory public information meeting, I'll ask if there's anybody else in the chambers or online that wishes to make a delegation at this time on this matter. Not seeing any, I'll just check one more time if there's anybody who would wish to make a submission on this matter before the statutory public meeting at this time. Not seeing any. With respect to the report, are there any comments or questions from members of committee? And I'd be happy to receive a motion to receive the report if I have a mover and seconder. So moved by Mayor Watton and seconded by Councillor Shahid. Is there any comments, questions with respect to receiving the report? I'll call the question then. All those in favor? That's carried. This concludes our second item for the public meeting. We'll move on to the third item. This is public meeting report number 2023 P9, page 56 of the agenda, that this portion of the meeting constitutes a statutory public information meeting under the Planning Act for a proposed amendment to the Durham Regional Official Plan submitted by Clark Consulting Services on behalf of Thornley Holsteins Limited to permit the severance of a farm dwelling rendered surplus as a result of the consolidation of a non-abutting farm properties in the municipality of Clarington. Notice of the public meeting was advertised in the Clarington This Week and Northumberland News newspapers, and notice was mailed to landowners and residents within 120 meters of the subject property. It is important that those who may have an interest in this matter make a submission prior to Regional Council making a decision. As a reminder, any person may make written submissions at any time before Regional Council makes a decision. Anyone wishing to be notified of future meetings of the Planning and Economic Development Committee at which the proposed amendment will be considered, or to be notified of Regional Council's decision on the subject amendment, must submit a written request to the Commissioner of Planning and Economic Development. So now we have, oh, there she is. Now we have a staff presentation from Sarah. Go ahead, Sarah.
Chair. Good morning, committee members, ladies and gentlemen. An application to amend the Regional Official Plan was submitted by Clark Consulting Services on behalf of Thornley Holstein Limited to permit the severance of a farm dwelling rendered surplus as a result of a consolidation of non-abutting farm properties. Next slide, please. If I could draw your attention to map number 1 on the screen, the subject site outlined in yellow is municipally addressed as 4854 Concession Road 5 and is located west-east of Town Line Road and is approximately 4 kilometers south of the hamlet of Kendall in the municipality of Clarington. The subject site is rectangular in shape and is actively cultivated as cash crop. The subject site is approximately 40 hectares in size, and the southern portion of the site includes the residential dwelling, the barn, the drive shed, and the silo. The existing silo is to be removed. Surrounding land use properties include woodlots, agriculture, and rural residential areas. The proposed severance showed on the map is approximately 3 hectares, which includes the residential dwelling, while retaining approximately 39 hectares, which include the barn and the drive shed. The applicant has submitted an application certification report, an environmental site screening questionnaire, and a land holding inventory in the support of the application. The applicant has also filed a zoning bylaw amendment application with the municipality of Clarington in order to facilitate the application. From a land use policy perspective, the provincial policy statement, the Greenbelt Plan, and the Regional Official Plan may consider this severance subject to satisfying various criteria. Next slide, please. If I can draw your attention to map 2 on the slide, the land holding inventory indicates that Thornley currently owns 5 agriculture properties within the municipality of Clarington. In regards to the agency circulation, the proposed amendment was circulating to review agencies for commenting, including the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Regional Health Department, the Regional Works Department, and the Ganaraska Region Conservation Authority. And in terms of public consultation, a notice of this public meeting has been advertised in the applicable newspapers. We have also mailed out a notice of this public meeting to property owners within 120 meters of the subject site. To date, our department has received no objections to the proposal. And finally, to conclude, a recommendation report will be brought forward to the Planning and Economic Development Committee once agency comments are received and we have concluded our analysis to the proposed amendment. This concludes my presentation. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Sarah. Is there any questions from members of the committee? Mayor Wong. Sorry. I'm going to go with Councillor Kerr first because he's on my electronic version here. Can you press the button? Councillor Kerr, the floor is yours.
Oh, I was going to say ladies first, but I just have two questions, and the first one's exceedingly important, sir. Would you kindly pronounce your last name for me, because I've never seen that collection of the alphabet before, but how do you pronounce your name correctly, please?
Hashsaleh.
Hashale.
Hashsaleh.
Hashale.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
The next one is my standard question. Just with respect to the severance, what's the size of the lot that's being severed off of the property?
Through you, Mr. Vice Chair. So it is approximately 3 hectares, which is about 7 acres.
Wow.
7 acres.
Yes. So, is there a reason why there's that much land? Is it to do with the topography and it needs to be collected that way because it's sort of rolling or otherwise useless for farm uses? What's the reason for such a high amount of land?
Yeah, that is through you, Mr. Vice Chair. That is correct. And the proposed severance would allow for a septic and a septic system, and it includes a residential dwelling and the detached garage.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Times 2. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councillor, and sorry about that, Mayor Watton, but I was going back to the old-fashioned system of recognizing hands, but now you're on the electronic version, so I'll recognize you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Pickles. And through you to Sarah, just a couple of questions. So the 7 acres, if I understand correctly, the barn and the drive shed are remaining on that property as part of, along with the house. Is that correct?
Through you, Mr. Vice Chair, the barn and the drive shed will be remained on the retained farm parcel, not with the severance. And if there is a rezoning application to rezone the use of the existing barn to prohibit any livestock uses.
Okay, thank you. That was my next question for minimum distance. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mayor. Are there any other members of the committee or visiting councillors that have any questions for Sarah at this point? I don't see any on the screen, so thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And we do have a registered delegation. We have Hugh Stewart on behalf of Clark Consulting Services. You look a lot like an earlier delegation we had. Anyway, the floor is yours.
Not my twin brother. Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Hugh Stewart, Clark Consulting Services, agents on this file as well. I'm pleased to be here, and thank you to Ms. Hashsaleh for the presentation. I do have one correction on the presentation. I think it may have been a matter of decimal point. The severance itself is 0.3 hectares, which is just shy of an acre. So it is a small severance on that. And apart from that, I don't have anything else to present to you. Wish to be here for any questions and help with that.
Okay, well, thank you for noting that comment. Your presentation was longer than the last one, I would note. But any members of committee have any questions for the delegation? I'm not seeing any on my screen at this time. Any members of committee or visiting councillors with any questions for the delegation? So being none, thank you, Mr. Stewart.
Thank you.
Again, this is a statutory public information meeting. Is there anyone in the chambers who wishes to make a submission at this time on this item? If so, please come forward. I'm not seeing anyone. I'll just call one more time for any submissions on this item if someone wants to identify themselves and come forward. Not seeing any, thank you. With respect to the report, do we have any comments or questions from members of committee or from visiting councillors? If so, please hit the button. Not seeing any, so I need a motion to receive the report. Councillor Kerr and Mayor Watton. Any comments or questions, or I'll call the question. All those in favor, receiving the report? That's carried. Thank you. So that completes our statutory public information meetings. Item 5, we have a presentation from Jackie Sievers, Manager, Marketing and Cluster Development, with respect to Invest Durham 5-year marketing plan. So, Jackie, if you'd like to come forward. Thank you.
Good morning, Planning and Economic Development Committee members. Today we are presenting the 2023 to 2027 Investor Marketing Plan. This plan is associated with the recently endorsed 5-year Economic Development and Tourism Strategy and Action Plan, Ready, Set, Future, a Place Blueprint for Durham. This plan will contribute to reaching the long-term place aspirations of people, location, acceleration, and creativity. To stand out amongst our global competitors, we must effectively promote Durham Region for investment. We need to communicate the region's strengths to innovative businesses, entrepreneurs, the realtor and developer community, and senior agencies in government. We must build momentum behind our reputation with consistent, effective, and authentic promotion of our successes. This is what the Investor Marketing Plan is designed to do. Go. The plan is designed to attract investment by generating and increasing brand awareness and reputation through creative storytelling, support business growth to create new, high-value jobs and increase economic prosperity, and support a favorable business environment for future investments by nurturing our sectors of focus through exciting campaigns. The plan outlines 3 goal areas. Develop strong brand awareness for investment value. This goal is about establishing the reputation that Durham Region is the very best opportunity for investment in the Greater Toronto-Hamilton area. Develop strong awareness for Durham Region as a place. This is about enhancing Durham Region's place brand. Particular focus of the plan is placed upon Durham Region's downtowns and their offering as a supportive environment for startup, innovative, and creative businesses. Use marketing success to foster Durham Region's innovation community. This goal is about establishing that Durham Region is a community where innovative businesses thrive. The plan has 5 objectives, and I'll go through each one now. Objective 1, achieve strong brand awareness and brand trust through promotion of our value proposition for investment and a focus on priority clusters as identified in Ready, Set, Future, a Place Blueprint. A sample action from this objective is to collaborate, participate in, and host sector-specific events that have a high value in lead generation and brand awareness, including the Collision Conference, Access.io, and others. Objective 2 is to firmly establish Invest Durham as the central voice for business in Durham Region by producing and partnering to produce consistent, reliable, timely, and useful information for our partners, local businesses, entrepreneurs, investors, and others. A sample action is to consistently communicate good news stories about innovators in our communities through social media, blog posts, advertorials, and editorial opportunities. Objective 3 is to strengthen our local economy and attract and retain talent to Durham Region through marketing initiatives and activities and transformational storytelling that deepens quality of place and encourages a strong sense of pride in Durham Region. A sample action is to firmly establish Durham Region as the clean energy capital of Canada through the development of a dedicated campaign and continue to work with partners in communicating the value for locating clean tech, clean energy, and future energy businesses in Durham Region. Objective 4 is to ensure marketing materials support investment attraction activities by building an inventory of information and resources that are data-driven, sector-specific, and brand-aligned. A sample action here is to redevelop the Invest Durham community profile. Objective 5 is to align marketing processes to ensure information, service, and communications are industry-leading, current, consistent, reliable, and responsive. A sample action is to measure and track performance of marketing campaigns, social media platforms, and other metrics to ensure that our content is relevant to our audiences. When we undertake these objectives and their associated actions, we will be well positioned to achieve the vision of the plan. Invest Durham will be recognized as one of the most well-known, trusted, and creative economic development organizations in Canada. As an outcome, Durham Region is seen nationally and internationally as a creative, innovative, and welcoming place to establish and rapidly grow a business. Invest Durham aspires to be known throughout external, domestic, and international markets for its innovation community that is solving global challenges. Thank you for your time today, and I look forward to answering any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Jackie. With respect to questions from members of committee, I'm expecting one to pop up here any second. So let's just say I did see one. Councillor Shahid.
Thank you so much. You know what? I made a mistake. I put a distance between Councillor Wharton and myself. So I think this is my desk and it needs to be switched to here.
Yeah, we do see the other mic lit up. There you go.
All right. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'd like to just correct me on your pronunciation of your name, if possible, please.
It's Jackie Seppers.
So easy. Jackie. That's
Jackie,
fantastic.
yes.
Thank you so much, Jackie, for your presentation. I absolutely love the plan that is put forward for the future. I am actually DIAC conduit to Whitby Chamber of Commerce, and we had our AGM just a few days ago, and it was Chair Henry who had said that Whitby Chamber is one of the most robust ones within the region, and we take full pride in that. My question to you is, the Chamber often talks about how we can push more diverse businesses and diverse people to come and invest in Durham. So what is your take on that?
Through the chair, thank you for the question. Diversity is an important part of a successful business ecosystem, and it is recognized at various points in the plan. One element in which we would recognize that or strive to achieve more diverse investment is through our marketing and ensuring that diverse voices are reflected both in our visually in our content as well as in our written content. We do work with consultants and writers outside of our organization and strive to bring diverse voices into our marketing. The belief being that if businesses feel reflected in our marketing, that they'll feel more welcomed into the community. So that is one marketing approach that we take. We also focus on a diverse range of sectors. So we do work on sectors or priority clusters as set out in the 5-year marketing strategy. And so businesses in those groups may come from anywhere in the world. We do obviously have geographies of focus, but that is an element as well. Those are two examples I can think of now, but there certainly is a focus on that in terms of both our marketing and our business development strategies.
Thank you so much. So furthermore, through you, Chair Pickles, what I wanted to also understand was that your marketing strategy is off of social media, advertising in diverse or probably outside of Durham Region magazines and so on and so forth. What other stuff can we expect in terms of, let's say, a tech company wants to explore Durham? Would you be putting a presentation up or taking them on a bus ride or a car ride of spaces we have within Durham Region? How would it look?
Yeah, through the chair, we do a number of different strategies to engage with businesses to attract them into the region. So that can include digital activities, paid marketing campaigns, social media strategies. We also undertake familiarization tours, bringing investors into the region. Sometimes that's a bus tour or a van tour or a driven tour where we visit a number of facilities of our partners. One example I can point to was a connection that we made with a company from India at the Collision Conference last year. Immediately following the conference, they visited Durham Region, considering investing and expanding their offices here. We were able to visit Durham College, Ontario Tech University, Spark Center in 1855 with that business. And so that's part of the strategy. Certainly presentation decks and slides, PDFs, a lot of materials are produced. That's one reason that in the marketing plan, processes is very important in ensuring that we have the good information at the ready and that templates are available. So the whole team is empowered to do work quickly that looks on brand and has the correct information.
Thank you so much. Through you, Chair. Furthermore, you talked about clean energy, and we are leading or somewhat there in clean energy in Canada. How does that put us out there in the international market?
Through the chair, thank you. That's a very important piece of our value proposition for investment in the region. It's a large employment sector. And so it's beyond Ontario Power Generation. It goes into the full supply chain and all of the companies that work with Ontario Power Generation, skilled trades, and a number of other elements. So it's very important. But also in the region, beyond employment is innovation. So the innovation both happening at Ontario Power Generation and the university and the colleges, developing new technologies, new safety protocols, training robots, all kinds of different innovations mean that there is an opportunity for businesses in that sector to work with and engage and test their technologies in the region. So everywhere from startup companies through to large international brand names that you would recognize in the nuclear sector have an opportunity in Durham region to build their business.
Thank you so much. My last question through you, Chair. I think I'm looking for an answer in terms of broadening my own understanding onto this. How are we advertising to international markets? I mean, we have all of that and much more to what you had explained, and thank you for that. So what I'm trying to understand again, and I'm sorry I'm repeating, is how will we get there to showcase ourselves out there?
Through the chair, I would say to some degree there is a bit of a transition period in terms of how we have been operating for international markets, in terms of working alongside Toronto Global and then working slightly less so alongside Toronto Global. But there is conferences and events that we attend. That's a major piece of the puzzle. So in terms of the Collision Conference, while it's in Toronto, it does attract 35,000 attendees from around the world, and we have a major investment of resources and time into that event and connecting with the tech industry. It's very broad in terms of who comes to that conference. We bring in familiarization tours, as I mentioned. We also undertake digital strategies to market internationally. So that being through social media or through digital campaigns that are delivered through mobile devices or on websites. We have paid placements in editorial or advertorial newspapers. There's a sort of a broad range of strategies to attract interest and investment into the region. Another piece of the puzzle, I would say, is through partnerships, especially with our post-secondary schools, the incubator and startup organizations in the region do a lot of work around attracting companies from outside the region, and we work closely with those partners.
Thank you so much for your hard work on this. Really, a lot of information packed in this. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. And we have Mayor Watton to be recognized.
Thank you, Chair Pickles, and through you to Jackie. Just I note, and sort of tongue in cheek, but there's been a lot of. I note that one of the strengths listed regional value proposition is the rapid emergence of AI, and given all the bump out there on the local news and so on and so forth about slowing down on that, what would your comments be with respect to moving? Our goal is to move it forward quickly and so on and so forth, and it seems like there are thousands of others that think we need to slow down on that.
Through the chair, thank you for the question. That is a big question. Certainly, artificial intelligence is an exciting opportunity. It's exciting in the region. We have the AI Hub at Durham College and a lot of applied research happening there. That applied research can be used in business right away to improve their processes. At the university, there's quite a bit of research, I think, specifically in AI in healthcare. And so there are certainly exciting applications. I would say for myself as a marketer, There's a lot of conversation around the application of AI in marketing, content writing, and social media. That does concern me a little bit. But I do think what we're doing on our side at Investorum amongst our team is watching the development of that sector closely. Certainly with the education facilities in the region, having a focus on it and the development of it and the research of it is an exciting opportunity, but certainly it's rapidly changing. And so being able to respond to that change quickly is important. And that's why we're watching the news media and following that closely.
Thank you. That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Is there any further questions of our presenter from members in committee or visiting councillors? I don't see any on the screen. So thank you, Jackie, for your presentation today.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that moves us on to item 6, which is delegations. Madam Clerk, I don't think we have any delegations. That leads us on to item 7, which is planning, and 7.1, which is correspondence. We have 4 pieces of correspondence. The first one being information report number 2023 Info 22, which is the Regional Planning Commissioners of Ontario inventory of Ontario's unbuilt housing supply, which was pulled by Mayor Collier from the March 17th, 2023 Council Information Package. Mayor Collier, are you on the line? Did you wish to speak to this? We have a recommendation to receive for information. Did you wish to speak to it? Do we have Mayor Collier on there? There we go. Oh, okay, we see you now. Mayor Collier. There you go. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. And can you hear me? The worst timing.
It's pretty good right now, so go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you. I had this pulled from the last CIP report, and I just wanted to ask, so this unbuilt housing, we've just completed or just completing the MCR. We have the draft regional official plan ready to go. We just dealt with it at our council last night, our comments. All this unbuilt housing, how does that factor in to the MCR? Is there anything that we can do to start accelerating these units? Through the chair, please.
Staff.
Thank you. And through the chair to Mayor Collier, the Municipal Comprehensive Review provides the forecasted housing that we are to plan to the 2051 timeframe of 1.3 million residents and 460,000 jobs. The RPCO report speaks to the initial 10 years, some of which is accommodated by existing in-supply applications within the region. And the report that was provided highlights that there's an approximate 10-year supply within that 10-year window within the region of Durham through draft approved and pending applications. Those factor into the overall supply within the 30-year timeframe of the Municipal Comprehensive Review. So it represents part and parcel of the overall total.
Okay, well, thank you. But I guess the situation is we want new housing now. The province is pushing us all for new housing now. I think all municipalities signed our pledges, and that's great. Bill 23 has made a lot of other changes to do with development charges. We're still not sure of when it will be implemented and what the impact will be. But again, there's still nothing to be pushing the developers who have these approved parcels to actually develop them. And I'm just wondering, I'll just add, we've requested a number of MZOs, and we put a condition, asked the minister to put a condition in those MZOs that if they're not acted on, they're rescinded. Just sort of like the Greenbelt Lands Route Open. Is there something we can do as a region to, again, incent or help move these forward quicker?
Yes, thank you. And through the chair, the region's role in this particular space is to create the conditions to allow the market to respond. So in this case, it is to provide for an adequate supply of land when the conditions are correct, to provide the necessary servicing and infrastructure to allow that land to come forward. That is essentially where the region occupies that space, as well as providing either services or commentary in relation to applications. The actual construction of units, the physical registration of lots, the marketing, and those elements are driven by the private sector. So it very much sits with the private sector in terms of when it decides to bring units forward. Obviously, the recent economic conditions as it relates to interest rates and related conditions has had a dampening effect, and we're cognizant of that certainly. But these are things that constitute factors that go into a purchaser's decision to purchase and a developer's decision to either market or not market the unit.
I think your mic is presently off, Mayor Collier.
Thank you, Chair. That's the end of my questions. Appreciate it. Thank you, Sal.
Thank you. We have a recommendation to receive for information. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Shahid, seconded by Councillor Kerr. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. The second item is correspondence received from the great city of Pickering, dated February 23rd, 2023, regarding the Durham Meadoway enhancements and amendments. We have a recommendation to refer to staff for consideration. Moved by Chair Henry, seconded by Mayor Watton. Any comments or questions on that? I'll call the question. All those in favor? That's carried. We have under C, correspondence received from the wonderful town of Whitby, dated March 27th, 2023, with respect to the Durham Meadoway Green Energy projects. We have a recommendation to refer to staff for consideration. Do I have a mover and seconder for that? Chair Henry and Councillor Shahid. Any comments or questions on that item? Councillor Shahid, sorry.
Thank you so
There we
much.
go.
Just a procedural question through you, Chair. While we are gathering all these correspondence and putting it in the study that is going on, what are the next steps for Durham Meadoway?
Staff, please, Gary.
Through the chair, I may defer to Mr. Greg Pereira, who's in the audience, to speak to the particulars of the Durham Meadoway.
Through the chair, thanks for the comment. With regard to the next steps, we will be doing a public information center at later this month. Right now, we're in the process of gathering all those comments and updating the plans to look at the alignment, the preferred alignment. That will also be presented at the PIC. As part of that, we'll also be looking at the amenity spaces that would animate and like gateways, public art, that would give a bit more of an idea as to what the potential of that Meadoway could look like and feel like.
Thank you so much. There was a online one, correct?
No, there wasn't. What we had was we have a public website that has the presentation information from the last PIC. The last PIC was in, I believe, January. And we provided all of that information. We also had some public, we had an information report as well. The online component we had was a survey. So in addition to public meetings, we also have, public information meetings. We also had correspondence and surveys that would get information from the public as well. So looking at a very multi-pronged approach.
Thank you so much. Through you, Chair, I have two other questions, if that's okay. One being the fact that this public information session will be virtual or in person, and how many will you be conducting, or would it be just here, or would it be also spread out throughout the region?
Through the chair, the next meeting is meant to be in person. It will be held at regional headquarters, and it will be presenting somewhat of the findings that we've had from the public consultations we've had so far with stakeholders generally. And that will include, notice will go out to the area municipalities from Pickering to Oshawa. And then residents would be informed. The last correspondence we did both through the media channels that we have at the region, in addition to public mailouts of 55,000 residential households.
Thank you so much. And the last question through you, Chair. Is it too early to say how many people took part in the online component or is sometime in January?
We have, through the chair, we have an information report that details that information, that provides that breakdown. At the public meeting itself in person, we had about 130 people that showed up. I can break that down further with regards to the online component that we had, but I'll have to get that information at a later date.
Thank you so much. That'll be all through you, Chair.
Thank you, Councillor. So we have a motion duly moved and seconded to refer to staff for consideration. If I don't have any more speakers on that, I'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Our final item under correspondence is D, a draft letter from the regional chair and Mayor Schumer dated April 4th, 2023, respecting the resumption of Ontario Northland Rail service in the splendid community of Beaverton. We have a recommendation here authorized for regional chair to sign, but I understand that the preferred recommendation at this point would be to refer to staff. There's some further work that has to be done with respect to the correspondence. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. We would like the opportunity to at least make a couple of calls, make a final tweak to the letter before it gets sent out. So,
do I have a mover for the recommendation to refer to staff? Regional Chair, before I take a motion, would you like to speak to it?
Just a question through you to staff. Would it be possible, the principle of the letter is well written, and would it be possible for this committee to endorse this letter, have staff tweak it, and then after it's done, because it's going to be sent with my signature and the mayor's, Brock's Mayor Schumer, he is supportive of this. So can we approve it, and then it doesn't have to come back to committee? It's not that it's time sensitive, but we'd like to get it out as soon as possible.
So I'm just checking with the clerk. Could we say that we endorse authorization for the regional chair to sign, subject to further clarification in its drafting?
Further amendments, and if that is acceptable to the CAO and to staff, then we could do that here, and we can move this along.
Okay, Madam Clerk, are you satisfied that's in order? Thank you.
And I'm going to ask for a recorded vote.
Okay, and that's moved by yourself, Chair Henry?
Yes.
Seconded by Councillor Kerr. And any further comments or questions on that? Madam Clerk, a recorded vote was called. That's carried. Thank you. That completes our correspondence under 7.1. We can move on to planning reports under 7.2. Item A is report number 2023 P10, an application to amend the Durham Regional Official Plan submitted by Clark Consulting Services Limited on behalf of Visser Sod Farm to permit the severance of a dwelling rendered surplus to a farming operation as a result of the consolidation of non-abutting farm parcels in the municipality of Clearing, file OPA 2021-007. Do I have a motion? Moved by Councillor Shahid, seconded by Councillor Kerr. Any comments or questions from committee or members of council? Being none, I'll call a question. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. We have, as item B, report number 2023 P11, the Durham Agricultural Advisory Committee, or DAC, membership appointments. Do I have a mover for the appointments? Councillor Kerr and Mayor Watton. Oh, sorry, I do have some speakers here. So we already have a mover and seconder, Madam Clerk, so we're good for the speakers, right? Chair Henry.
I was just going to move B and C.
I've already taken a mover for item B, so I think we're good. So we'll move to Councillor Kerr.
I was just going to move the whole recommendation from staff.
Okay, sorry, I moved more quickly and already had a mover and seconder. So, and we'll move to, thank you, Councillor. We'll move to Councillor Neal. Councillor Neal?
No, I was just going to say on that report 2023, I'm pretty sure I pushed yes and it came up no. So
Thank you, Councillor Neal. We did note that it did appear as no, so we'll make that correction to a yes.
and okay, thanks.
Okay, thank you. So we have item B duly moved and seconded. I don't see any other speakers. I'll call the question on item B. Those in favor? That is carried. So moving on to item C, I'll recognize Chair Henry. I think you wanted to move that, and Councillor Kerr with respect to report number 2023 P12, the Durham Environmental and Climate Advisory Committee membership appointments. Does anybody wish to speak to this item? If not, I'll call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. So we'll move on to item 8, which is economic development. 8.1 is correspondence. I don't believe we have any correspondence, Madam Clerk. So 8.2, we have reports. Report number 2023 EDT 5 Invest Durham 5-year marketing plan. Could I have a mover and a seconder on that? I see Mayor Watton and Councillor Shahid. This is in respect to the delegation we had earlier today. Is there any comments or committee members who wish to speak on it, or visiting councillors? I don't see any on the screen. I guess it was a very clear presentation. I do have Councillor Neal now appearing. So Councillor Neal, I recognize you.
Yeah, if you can see that on the screen, sometimes the camera comes up, sometimes it doesn't. But anyway,
We can see
the
it.
mic. On this, in North Oshawa, is the dark fiber on track up in regards to thing? We have as a lot of people mentioned, the Columbus Raglan area in the North Oshawa, we have the Ontario Tech University in view, full review, but their internet is lousy. So is that still on track for being done, I think, later this year? Through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
So I believe that Chair Henry would like to speak to that.
Thank you, Chair Pickles. The plan that the Durham OneNet has is being followed. There is a schedule. So I'm happy with the success that we've had so far, but fiber throughout the region of Durham is not a small issue, but we are staying to the schedule that we have.
So further to that, so the plan was the Columbus and Raglan area was going to be done later this year. So that's still on track then.
We're on track with our schedule.
Okay, and that's still gonna be done. No, I just want to tell some of the residents that are having problems like myself in regards to that area that it's gonna be there soon. So I can say that, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Neal, thank you. I don't have any other speakers showing at this time. No one's on the list, so I will call the question. Those in favor? That's carried. Thank you. That concludes our economic development reports. We do not have any advisory committee resolutions under item 9. We don't have any confidential matters under item 10. Item 11 is other business. Chair Henry.
So thank you, Chair. So this is we'll end up, if you allow me a little latitude, we'll end up questions for our legal department. But I read with interest the other day that the federal government was going to do a study on aviation demand for Pickering. It doesn't matter on which side you are, pro or against, the announcement of the study, and I read with interest that was coming. I also found out, and there's a great report published yesterday by a great story by Glenn Hendry. It was published April 3rd. Hendry, not Henry, April 3rd, which would have been yesterday. And to our legal staff, I know that there has to be a complete track of reports that come back and forth. But in this article, this proposal that which was rescinded immediately after that it was put out, has now been removed from the Transport Canada website, and a search, when searched in this article, says subject not found. And my question is to make it a little easier for Cindy, that when the federal government or any level of government issues a report, that there has to be a tracking system to it. It simply shouldn't come up subject not found. I find it to be not transparent, and I'm wondering if we could get a comment from our legal staff.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I saw Jason there, but he seems to have disappeared again. From a privacy perspective, there would be a record of the document as it existed. I don't understand how it would just appear on a website and then disappear, other than they took it down. There must have been an error or something. But I think the document does still exist. Once it's created, it's created. I guess we could take a look and see for you if we could get a copy of it again, or to figure out why it went away. But usually once the region posts something online, it remains online. And it would only be taken down to be replaced with a newer, updated version. So
for correction, the region didn't take it down.
no, it was the federal
was the
government
federal
that took
government.
it. Yeah.
Chair, may I continue? So I'll need some latitude.
Go ahead. You have latitude.
So, I found with interest, and it doesn't matter whether you're on what side of this, but we need to continue to at least understand why over 50 years a project that is set aside to be developed hasn't been developed. I'm also, as you know, Chair, I'm a huge believer in indoor farming, and I often talk about it around the world, and that we're missing opportunities to grow the foods that we need, especially if you're following the challenges with the droughts that have taken place in parts of the United States, and the water challenges around Lake Mead and what's happening there. I find it hard to believe that they would put a report out one day and rescind it the next day, because like all levels of government, you have very talented staff working within your organizations that write reports, and somebody would have had to approve that report to be released. And I find it very difficult to believe that that would have been removed. So, in a time when we're struggling to make sure that we can maintain an affordability for our taxpayers, and having an economic engine that could be something that this country has not seen in a very long time, having it completely dismissed and not being available is wrong. Chair, I'm wondering if whether our staff should write to the federal minister and ask for clarification on the reason for removal. I'm hoping that somebody else out there would actually do a Freedom of Information request to understand the entire process. But both sides need to understand what happened. And there is an absolute lack of transparency on this issue. And that concerns me on something that is so big and could potentially be a game changer, either in the aviation world or in the ability to grow food indoors. So, Chair, I'm open to suggestions from you or from staff, or would it simply be ask staff from our Economic Development Department to take direction to write the Federal Minister of Transportation, ask for clarification on the reasons why this was removed?
So thank you, Chair. Yeah, just to add to it, there was confusion at the City of Pickering when staff did see the item come up and come down. I'm not sure if the nature would be described as a report or a tender or an RFP or whatever it was. It came up and it went down, and I can tell you that our staff at the City of Pickering are seeking clarification and further information on that item. I think if the region were to want to pursue and also seek clarification, they might want to speak with staff at the City of Pickering and maybe coordinate that effort. But if you're looking for direction for regional staff to follow up with the federal government to seek clarification on it, you would like that to be noted as direction given from this committee.
So maybe it could be simple as with committee's approval that I write the minister. If you're acceptable to that, I'd be happy to do that.
I'm fine with that. I just suggest you might want to have your staff or yourself contact the mayor's office or our economic development at the City of Pickering to see what they've learned so far that might help inform your correspondence.
Well, how about we do that in cooperation?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, do we need a motion to that effect, or is that just direction? Okay, so a motion to confirm that direction, a motion. Moved by yourself, Chair Henry.
Yes.
Seconded by Councillor Shahid. Do you want to just read us back, Madam Clerk, what you think the motion ought to be, the direction? That something to the effect that the chair seek clarification from the federal government.
I can maybe make it easier that the chair of the region and the mayor of Pickering work together to craft a letter to the Minister of Transportation seeking clarification on the issue related to Pickering Airport.
Thank you. Duly moved and seconded. Any comments on that? So I'm going to recognize on the screen Councillor Shahid.
Thank you so much. This is a question from a rookie counselor. Knowing in terms of the fact that have this happened before, or this is something unusual? It looks like it's unusual to me.
So there has been previous consulting reports a number of years ago. One was prepared by KMPG that spoke to the need for an airport. That was some number of years ago. So there was another request to go up for a further study. I think it's maybe unusual that it went up and came down within a day. So I think that's the more unusual part about it.
Thank you so much. So I just wanted to understand the clarity of it for someone to, or some entity, an organization or government to do something like this. It's unusual to me, but it's a good thing to make an inquiry. 100%. Thank you. I'll be supporting it.
Thank you. I did have Councillor Kerr here. Did he disappear? Here we go.
I was just anticipating the vote, and I also have an additional piece of business.
Okay. On the item, if there's no further speakers, I'll call a question. All those in favor? That's carried. Councillor Kerr, if you want to press your button, we'll recognize you as other business.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, we've heard you, it's a bit of a lighthearted way to end the meeting, perhaps, but we've heard you eloquently say the wonderful Whitby today. I believe the Great City moniker has already been claimed by Mayor Carter, the Great City of Oshawa. Would you consider prosperous Pickering?
I would.
I just can't wait to hear the other monikers you have for Ajax, Clarington, Uxbridge, Brock, and Scugog. And I'm thinking maybe Awesome Ajax and Cool Clarington, but I'll leave that up to you.
I would have gone with Outstanding Oshawa.
Outstanding Oshawa? We'll take Great City, I think. Well, the mayor's got that. Thank you. And I'll move to adjourn at the appropriate time.
Thank you, Councillor. Item 12, we have no other business? Not seeing anyone else. That concludes other business. Under item 12, we have date of the next meeting, which is Tuesday, May 2nd, 2023 at 9:30. And an adjournment motion would be in order. And Councillor Neil, were you seeking to speak under other business? Councillor Neil, go ahead. Councillor Neil, we're recognizing you. I just wanted to make any other